All right, guys, what's going on? It's Jack, and welcome back to another video. So, XDefiant officially released the Season 1 trailer. Now, just to give you guys a little bit of a heads up for those of you guys that are not aware, the trailer obviously did not reveal everything, right, in terms of what we're going to get in Season 1. There's actually going to be a few more things that we are going to get that are being worked on, but they just haven't literally showed us everything. And this is one of the reasons why we're actually going to have the debrief that is going to take place on July 1st, which is literally the day before the official Season 1 launch. So there's going to be a little bit more that's going on beneath the surface than what we see here in the trailer. But the trailer itself actually does give us a good indication of what we can expect, and it's a pretty damn good taste. And so far, I have to say everything looks good. So without further ado, let's break it down later in terms of the things that are the most eye-catching when it comes to this trailer, right? So obviously, the first thing is that it starts out with the GSK faction from Rainbow Six Siege with a charging riot that actually... it's a charging riot shield that can actually flash enemies, and it actually appears to have like a little power bar or whatnot, so you can see how many more hits you can take before you can either unleash your charge, or whether you can just put it away, or how much time you have left until you have to put the riot shield away before you can't use it anymore. So I can definitely see a lot of players using this to kind of combat the Phantoms faction to a certain extent, because there's a little bit of a similarity there. So that's pretty cool. And the fact that there's a flash is pretty cool as well. And plus you get the charge. So I remember in my factions overhaul video, I remember mentioning that, you know, we could use a little bit of speed, and it looks like we're definitely going to get it here with this one. So I could see they're probably thinking way ahead of things that I even mentioned. So anyway, let's continue on here. So the next thing that they decide to show off in the trailer is the new weapons, and it comes in the form of a sniper rifle, an assault rifle that actually has some pretty damn clean iron sights, if you ask me, and a shotgun, and that actually reminds me of the Black Ops 1 Olympia. And the cool thing about this is that specifically with the assault rifle, which for me is the main event as far as showing off the weapons is concerned, this is really good because with a lot of the assault rifles that we've been using so far, we've been using the reflex sight. So to actually see a weapon to where the reflex sight is not going to be used as much, or not needed to be used because the iron sights are so clean in and of itself, is definitely a good thing and something that is welcomed. And I'm sure a lot of people would just love to like not use one of the 5 slots for their weapon attachments, and just use something else instead that will make the assault rifle perform better than it obviously would. So I go crazy. For those of you guys that have been here long enough, you guys know that I'm a big fan of good iron sights when it comes to weapons. So to see one to where a red dot sight is not going to be necessary, I mean, you could always use it if you prefer to, but the fact that it's not going to be necessary, I think is a definite plus. All right, so next up, they cover 3 maps, and these come in the form of Clubhouse, Daytona, and Rockefeller. So Clubhouse, I really love the vibrance and the color scheme, and the same thing goes with Daytona and Rockefeller. Everything is just so vibrant, and I'm from Florida, so you know, kind of throwing in Daytona in there is kind of a nod to my home state, so to speak, so which is pretty cool. And again, when you're looking at some of these maps, they're definitely doing a really good job with the 3-lane structure in terms of how they work. And I see Rockefeller, or maybe even Daytona to a certain extent, kind of being very similar in terms of feel. I mean, again, not a cut and paste by any means, but very similar to how Arena is like. And a lot of people love Arena, and for good reason. So I think if you're a fan of, like, let's say Arena and Noodleplex, Arena and Noodleplex, and maybe Pueblito, if you're a fan of those 3 maps, I think that Clubhouse, Daytona, and Rockefeller are going to be something that's literally like something that's more than worth playing on. And the fact that we're getting a new map every month is awesome. All right, so let's go on to the next thing that they basically cover, and that is a new game mode called Capture the Flag. And the biggest question I have is Capture the Flag going to be traditional, or is it going to be a different take on Capture the Flag? My guess is it's going to be pretty original, and if there are any differences, I'm pretty sure they're going to be subtle. But as you guys know, subtle differences are literally what can make the difference in terms of how people play it, kind of like how the factions work, so to speak, although the factions, in my opinion, are not so subtle, if you ask me. But, and obviously, as you guys know, as discussed in my previous video, there will be Team Deathmatch in about 2 weeks, according to Mark Rubin over on Twitter. And I know a lot of people are looking forward to that. Now, next up, they show off the rank progression rewards in terms of, you know, in terms of the emblems and how those look. And the biggest thing that I took away from this is that if these rank progression rewards look the way they look, I wonder what prestige emblems and prestige ranks are going to look like. Because I think, obviously, again, like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, there's not everything has been covered on this, and we do know that there are certain things that are coming, right? And we know that prestige is one of them. And I know that putting something into a game is a little bit more complicated than just discussing it in theory. But I would say from a design standpoint, I would say the prestige system is something relatively simple. So I don't see why they won't have it in season 1, especially since they have rank progression rewards, which is a little bit more complicated than just ranking up, which was what prestige would be. So I'm thinking if the rank progression rewards look this good, what do prestige rewards look like? And that's something that instantly had me thinking. And of course, last but not least, they go over camos, and something that a lot of fans, at least as far as Call of Duty is concerned, are very big fans of, and that is weapon inspections. There's weapon inspections for me personally is not a big deal. Camos are good. I know we're going to have additional progression camos, obviously, and camos to unlock, which is great because mastery camos are huge. And if you look at some of the camos, I don't know whether you could buy them or whether they're mastery camos or whatnot, has yet to be seen. But damn, some of these camos look sick, as well as some of the customization options that you have in terms of customizing your character. For me personally, customizing your character doesn't mean as much to me as much as camos do, but obviously I prefer the ones that you work and grind towards as opposed to the ones that you have to buy from the store. But I will be continuing to support the game. I'm going to continue to get battle passes because the game has been pretty much been given, the devs have been pretty much working their asses off and been giving us everything so far, including transparency and everything that we haven't gotten with other first-person shooter franchises out there. So the least I could do is buy a battle pass for every single season. So simple as that, really. So with that being said, that's pretty much it. In terms of the gist of things, that's pretty much it with this, guys. So I want to know down in the comment section, what do you guys think about all this stuff? And what additional things do you guys think that they're going to basically discuss during the insider session? I know we're going to have a lot more details given to us, which is going to be great, and which is going to get everybody pumped up for season 1, literally the day before season 1. And I'm sure Mark Rubin over Twitter or whatnot, as well as other things that may come to light over these next few weeks up until season 1 releases, I'm pretty sure that there's going to be a few more other tidbits that will make players and fans of the games and content of the game and content creators like myself start to speculate and probably make content about. So anyway, as always, I'd like to thank everybody for taking the time to watch and or listen. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.